was actually my first job starting in 1980 with a plastic pipe manufacturer, today called Pipelife in Austria. We had a very interesting project together with an Austrian energy company called Energy Styria, and they were asking for the development of a pre-insulated piping system, a flexible one that they can lay out as easily as electric cables. It took about 2 years to develop the product and finally introduce it in 1983, and it was a big, let's say, success insofar as in 1983 we also were able to realize our very first bigger biomass district heating project in a smaller village close to Vienna, and they are supplying heat from a biomass boiler plant to an abbey called Holy Cross or Heiligenkreuz, and the entire village was connected in the coming years. So actually the first installation is now 40 years in operation, and this was the first big installation with flexible plastic pipes for district heating. The connection to renewable energy started, as I said, in 1983, and a lot of biomass district heating projects in Austria followed because there was a big initiative to change from oil and gas, especially oil, to sustainable sources like biomass in Austria after the second oil crisis. So a little bit a repetition of what we have now, and this was the basis for our development and our success. With regard to the barriers, the district heating systems in larger cities were all built with steel pipes, and since the mid-70s also with pre-insulated steel pipes. And they had a lot of experiences on the high temperature side, and they took the same type of products also for the lower temperatures. You have to understand that district heating and energy companies in general, they are looking for total security, long lifetime, problem-free operation and supply to all the customers. So it takes quite a while until they can be convinced. So our initiatives were then going in the direction of standardization and proving the lifetime several times by excavating some pipes from the operating networks and showing the remaining lifetime of the systems. The Green Deal has changed the world for us in a significant way, because the need to change to renewables and sustainable energy sources for the heating sector, and especially also for district heating, is supporting the development of low temperature district heating systems, which is our specialty. And heat sources like geothermal, solar heat, heat pumps, industrial waste heat have the best performance and output at these lower temperatures. And here we talk about temperature levels mainly between 60 and 80 degrees C. And that's temperatures that are ideal for our flexible systems. And as for example, at 70 degrees, you have a lifetime for such systems of more than 90 years. We have been part of Horizon 2020, IEA, DHC and national R&D projects, and have learned a lot, and also were able to give a lot of input from our experience. And let's say one of the most important results was a guidebook from IEA DHC, and in this guidebook about low temperature district heating, the whole range of applications, of sources, of solutions is described, and I can only recommend it. The biggest potential for our systems we see one part in the district heating sector, low temperature district heating sector, and there we see, especially fueled by the exit from gas situation in the cities, we see a momentum starting now and for the coming years, because the cities need to reach the climate goals for 2030 to 2050, and there's no way around district heating, at least for parts of the cities and even villages. The second big development is coming from the heat pump sector. We have developed specific flexible piping systems for the heat pump sector, and that's a booming sector, everybody knows that. And we are continuously improving these systems and developing the system in line with the market needs. And there we see, let's say, a huge development in the next 20, 30 years even. And the important thing for us is to develop such kind of systems together with the stakeholders. And the stakeholders are, of course, the designer of these networks, but it's also a little bit the public that needs to be secure in terms of heat supply, and they need to gain this trust in our systems. So we try not only to be, let's say, the manufacturer and talking directly to our direct clients, like installers and designers, but also bring our know-how to the final people. And we are members of institutions like Klimaaktiv in Austria, like Carmen in Germany, like Green Tech Cluster also in Austria, to support this. The need that we have is people. To be honest, people that are enthusiastic, that like to join our business. It's a future-proof business, to be honest. It's a lot of fun in this industry, although we have real big demand, growing demand, and we need young people, young enthusiastic people that help us to fulfill the needs of the future. As a leading manufacturer for technical insulation and pre-insulated pipe solution, Armacell is developing the products with a lower carbon footprint and a longer lifetime. We develop new solutions in close cooperation with installers, with users, with equipment manufacturer. And the overall goals are energy efficiency, installer security or installation security, and long service life. These are always leading, yeah. But the emphasis on minimizing the carbon footprint is growing permanently. We get for our systems, we get environmental product declarations, and we are following the improvement process to get to a better level in terms of carbon footprint. We are also collaborating with key institutions like IEA, like Euroheat and Power, like the European Heat Pump Association, the EIF, European Industrial Insulation Foundation, Solar Heat Europe, but just to name a few. And we are jointly developing the political framework for faster deployment of all these green energy solutions. And we see already a real progress due to the work of all these institutions, even in the wider public. have a lot of technologies already that are very nicely developed. And with this we can already do a lot in terms of gaining of efficiency, of lifetime, of security. Nevertheless, I think new ideas, even improvements on the existing ones, are always welcome. So we are in a growing market, in a significantly growing market. This is probably one of the most important markets for the next 30 years, until 2050 at least. And to be in this market and to bring in all your expertise, all your know-how, all your ideas, all your enthusiasm, that's something that I can only tell. I'm 40 years in this business. I don't want to stop. I don't want to get retired. It's real fun, and I can only invite you to join. Thank you.